I'm standing in the driveway looking at the barn complex, and I wanted to give a video walkthrough of everything. This is like a 30 by 30 hay and equipment shed, and they're run-in sheds on both, run-in overhangs on both ends of it. So I used to have like paddocks on both ends that I would have horses in, and then I can have a fence and let them out to the pasture, because there's about a 6 or 7 acre pasture right behind this shed. Then over here we have the barn. It is a 7-stall barn, and behind the barn there's a large storage overhang open area that I used as kind of a run-in area, and I had that whole place as one large paddock, and I would keep several horses in it. Then over to the right is where the arena was, and you can just see a little bit of the outline of it, but it was a large dressage arena size, and it has about 6 or 8 inches of horse footing. And over to the side of the arena there's another run-in shed. Yes, there it is. But all the fences are down now. I did have electric fencing for the pastures. That did very well for the horses. And then I used corral panels to kind of cordon off the different paddock areas. So let me take you on a walk through to the barn. This is a large barn. It has 2 foaling stalls that are approximately 12 by 16, and then it has 5 more stalls plus a tack room and a half bath. And behind each of the foaling stalls there's a turnout area that I used to have paddocks for the mares and babies, and had cattle panels set up there so that I could just turn them out from the stall area. And there was room for them to move around and even get up to a canter. So let me do the walk through the barn, and then I'll go up to the other storage shed. This barn actually has 4 entrance doors. It has a really wide one here that you can get a tractor through, and then there's 3 others that are just for getting horses in and out. On my left there's a half bath. There's the sink. The toilet's behind the door. Can't really see it with the door open, but the water's turned off right now. But at the bottom of this cabinet there's a water turn-off valve. We haven't had horses in this barn for probably, I'd say, 8 years, so we've been using it more as a workshop. And so we've got the work table set up. But this whole area has a concrete floor to it. The other is just a dirt floor, but it has rubber mats on it. Here's one of the large foaling stalls with the opening to the outside. You can see kind of the paddock area through the door. Here's the second foaling stall. There's always a lot of light in here because I have clear panels in the roof. Then we go into the walkway that's covered with mats, and on my left there's one larger stall. It may be 12 by 14. And then on my right there are 2 smaller stalls. They're 12 by 12 or 10 by 12. And then ahead of me on the right is a 12 by 12 stall. On the left is a 12 by 12 stall. And then straight ahead is the tack room with a door that will lock and a ladder leading up to the hayloft, and there's a hayloft covering this whole section of the barn that holds quite a bit of hay. Here's another entrance to the barn from the driveway, and over here I had an area where I kept my feed in bins and just a desk and a kind of equipment area. And here's another door to the outside that goes out to the pasture behind. So I'm going to go back out through this door that's close to the driveway. This shows the other end of that 30 by 30 hay equipment shed, and you can see the run-in area there. That way I could have a paddock on each end and keep horses in the paddocks, but I'd have gates out to the pasture. And then as I come out, just down the driveway, short way, is another larger equipment shed. This one is 30 by 40. I'll walk up a little closer and then show you. This whole end of the shed is just open, and you can see there's a sliding door there where you can get equipment in. It's wide enough for a tractor, and then usually I use this for hay storage. Behind it there's a run-in shed that I used to have a paddock up around. Then there's the pasture that's sowed in timothy, orchard grass, and clover. Behind me is the barn we just went through, and there's the other shed. And then behind that shed is a second pasture, 6 or 7 acres. And then where you see this burn pile, we have bonfires there now, but there used to be a 60-foot round pen, and there's 6 to 8 inches of sand still beneath the grass, but it hasn't been used in quite a while, and that's why grass has grown over it. But it'd be very easy to restore, as well as the arena, because the sand's there underneath. So this shed over here, like I said, it's large. It's 30 by 40. The last 15 feet of it, a 15 by 30 area, is a storage building with a concrete floor and a lockable door, and then an overhead garage door, so you can actually get things in on pallets, whatever you need to do. Right now it's been used just as storage. So when I turn back around, you can see the whole barn complex. There's the barn. There's the other hay equipment building. That's where the round pen once stood. The pasture's behind there. There's another pasture behind the barn. Right now I have my back to Eldridge Loop. So that's the barn complex. At one time, Golden Opportunities Farm was a very successful quarter horse breeding operation, and it wouldn't take much to get it back in full operating condition. It produced multiple show winners and a world champion. So it's all set up for ease of use and for horses, but it could easily be used for any other purpose.